Chilling tales for dark nights.
Knuckle's Supper, written by Drew Stepek, performed here by Jason Hill. Chapter 12, Healers. The old man helped Bates sip some soup. You know you can't keep her here anymore. She hadn't spoken much since I found her laid out. I didn't blame her. Maybe you can let Eldritch babysit? Take care of her? Pico suggested. I pulled the blanket up to her neck. That isn't going to happen. As he pulled a thermometer out of her mouth, Pico said, "But you said he liked her." Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't trust him. I just know that will be the first place Des will go looking for her. I've already put Eldritch in enough jeopardy by using him to traffic the drugs and money. I handed Beta a magazine. She nodded her approval. The actor who played her vampire darling, L. Byron Nightshade, was on the cover. He was shirtless. His hair was a mess. He had some smug look on his face, and he was wiping blood off his fangs with the back of a gloved hand. It was ridiculous. I hadn't decided at that point if I necessarily wronged her or not, but since I felt like a dick, I figured why not be nice to her. I grabbed the thermometer and inspected it, as if I had any idea what I was doing or what was the normal temperature for a human being, for that matter. I put it down on the nightstand. Bate flipped through the magazine, seemingly oblivious to the danger she faced. I hadn't gotten any response from Des other than a hang-up. It was now clear that all trust and allegiance between the two of us had dissipated. I was as dead to him as he was to me. Would you be willing to go with her and watch out for her until she's able to get around by herself? Pico scratched his head. Gee, I don't know, RJ. Let me rephrase that. You will stick by her side, and you'll get Tahoe to help you. They're gonna find her at my place or Tahoe's place just as easy as they would find her here. I slugged him in the arm. You don't think I know that? The Knucklers are separated now. I can't take back what I did to that kid, and the Desians can't take back what they did to Bate. I'm still unclear as to how she got pregnant. Bate tugged on my sleeve. I looked at her. Yes? She turned the magazine around so it faced me, and with a trembling finger she pointed to an outfit. Can you get me this, RJ? Doing everything in my power not to slap the magazine out of my face, I looked at Pico. How much heroin did you give her? He held up the empty syringe. A lot. I turned back to Bate. Can you let the grown-ups talk now? She dropped the magazine and grabbed her abdomen. Bate furthered the performance by grunting like she had been holding in a deuce for 3 days. Fine, I agreed. I'll get you the outfit when you get better. Without thanking me, she dog-eared the magazine page and continued browsing. I returned to Pico, who looked to be debating whether or not to flee Bates' bedside so he wouldn't be automatically elected to be responsible for her. Anyway, Pico, I need you and Tahoe to watch over her and hide out at one of the suites with the Batwangers. Are you kidding me? Not at all. I can trust them. For Christ's sakes, I let them sell drugs and bite cocks off in my neighborhood. It's the least they can do for me. I trust Nomi. What could a group of transsexual weirdos do to you, Tahoe, or me? Why can't you just do this? He minimized his voice. And why do you care? There's no need to whisper. She can't hear us. I waved my hand in front of Bates' face. And I care because I care. End of story. She's a little girl. Don't you care about anything? He rubbed his arms. You're getting high. That's what I figured. This isn't about being a hero or a savior. It's about what's right. I'm telling you this now. I pointed at Bates' stomach. This should never have happened. I didn't know where my concern for humanity or my sudden humility came from. I guess it was the price I had to pay for taking daily shots of blood from a naive and silly little girl. Pico looked down, almost ashamed. I slapped him back into the conversation. Ow! He cried. Those slaps didn't hurt, you pussy. Look, I've decided on this. I don't know what else to do." He rubbed his jaw like I'd just beaten him with a frying pan. Exaggeration was contagious in the room. "You know what you were like when I found you in the street in a garbage bin, RJ? A little 12-year-old starving baby. If it weren't for me, you would be nothing more than a bag of bones sitting in a landfill somewhere. The same can be said about all you ungrateful pricks. You, Tahoe, the rest of them. You all wouldn't even exist if it weren't for me." I pulled him toward me by his shirt and yelled into his eyes. "And where were we before that, Pico?" Where did we come from to be left on the streets? He avoided my eyes. I don't know," he answered. "You don't lie very well, old man. To be honest with you, I don't care where we came from at this point. It's my turn to speak, little boy. Please don't lecture me on the right or wrong things to do. I know." He shook himself loose from my grip. "I know more than all you self-indulgent pricks. Not one of you has ever thanked me for saving your lives." "Thanked you? Thanked you for what?" "Gee, Pico, thanks for bringing me into a world where I am sentenced to being a drug-addicted killer who is sensitive to light, can't get a hard-on, or live a normal life." I snatched his chin, drew him close to my face so he could see my anger. "Look at me. All of us. We survive on the blood of our disgusting victims and fucking narcotics. Tell me, Pico, how is it that the drug seems so much more important than the blood? I've never seen a vampire movie where drugs keep them alive. Rather than ask these questions or even think about them, we simply settle into this justification that it's just the way we are. Well, what is that? What are we? Where do we come from?" I took my other palm from the magazine that was pinned to Bates' face. I ran my hand up and down my torso. "Do you think I like this?" "You know what, Pico? I wish you left us all on the streets to die. As a matter of fact," I pointed between Bates' legs, "I wish that my mother, if I ever had one, which I'll never know, had the good sense to jam a fucking soda bottle up inside herself and drop a cinder block on it. Wouldn't that have solved all this misery?" He didn't answer. I sighed and patted Bate on the head. "Sorry, Bate." She was fast asleep with the magazine covering her face. "I'm going to call Nomi. Do me a favor and call Tahoe. All of this isn't going away, and I'm 100% sure that Daz already ratted us out to Copperhead. Guess what that means, old man? Cobra knows we stole from him by now. I couldn't be happier that someone who has searched high and low for a reason to kill me for years now knows I stole a lot of money from him. The safest place for you to be right now is away from me." Pico did as he was told, began dialing Tahoe's number. "He knows more than you think, RJ," he sneered under his breath. Rather than continue my tirade about being a fake human, I dialed Nomi's number. Good evening. This is Jason Hill, host of the Horror Hill podcast. You've been listening to a chapter from the award-winning novel Knuckle Supper by best-selling author Drew Stepek. Knuckle Supper, Ultimate Gutter Fix Edition, and its critically acclaimed sequel, Knuckleballed, are available now from Bloodbound Books. Check out the links in the video description and sticky comments below to pick up a copy today and show your support for indie horror. Also, please consider making a donation to Children of the Night today and help end teen prostitution and human trafficking. Children of the Night is a privately funded non-profit organization established in 1979 with the specific purpose of providing intervention in the lives of children who are sexually exploited and vulnerable to, or involved in, prostitution and pornography. Visit childrenofthenight.org for more information today. From author Drew Stepek and all of us here at Chilling Tales for Dark Nights, thanks for listening and for your support.
Chilling Tales for Dark Nights.